we live? Oh. I think. Yeah. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine. I hope you had a great international break. FPL some says, yeah, time to track those airplanes. Absolutely. So, guys, I hope you had a great time off. Actually, it wasn't that great for me. I never really like a season to start and then quickly followed by an international break. It just takes the fun out of the start of the season. But now we're back, and before we get started, I would like to tell you that this September to October, this period is going to be absolutely packed with games, right? Because there's going to be Premier League, there's going to be Champions League, and there's going to be like Carabao Cup games as well. And obviously for those teams which are in the Europa League and the Europa Conference Leagues and so on and so forth, it's going to be lots and lots of football action. But in terms of FPL, we're just going to have 4 more game weeks before we are in with another international break. So, I think this is something which we are going to, readily have to accept, that the international breaks are going to be coming like this from now onwards. But it is what it is, guys. We just accept what how the schedule is, and we just adapt according to that. So without further ado, hey Neil, welcome to the stream. Hey FPL Sam, and I would just like to I would not want to go into too much details about my own performance, because game week 3 feels like a very, very long time back now. But I got 79 points, which was nice, and I put actually Ben Johnson in the team, and I got Sangare from the bench, giving me exactly 0 points because neither Johnson played and neither Sangare. I think Sangare, he played, but he came off with a yellow card or something of that order. So in the end, it was just 10 players for me this game week. But the ones who did play, actually out of that, Eze was the one who actually performed really well for me, alongside Isaac, who scored a goal finally. And now with the bonus point system skewed in favor of the forwards and midfielders, he got bonus points as well. So and what I did was, which I rarely do, guys. I never do this, by the way, and I actually pinned the message. I actually transferred out Saka plus Solanke, on the very day of when the game week 3 ended, I transferred Solanke and Saka out, and I brought in Salah and Joao Pedro, and it was a good decision, because Salah and Joao Pedro both rose in price as well. So it was a decentish international break, in the sense that none of the players which I owned actually got injured. Otherwise, this early transfer thing could have been could have come back to bite me, but it did not happen that way. So after making my transfers, this is currently how my team looks like, guys. And I think the team which has suffered the most in this international break has been Arsenal, because for earlier they were without Declan Rice, who I feel was kind of ridiculously red carded in the game against Brighton, which actually cost Arsenal that game. And on top of that, they lost Calafiori and Martin Odegaard to a tackle by Baumgartner in that game against who was it? I think it was Austria or something. I don't know. But it was very, very, very bad for Arsenal, because now they are without Declan Rice for the North London derby. They're without Odegaard, and they're without Calafiori as well for this North London derby. And even Odegaard might be missing for longer, although Arteta did not say this in the press conference. He says we still have 2 days. Martin Odegaard always wants to play this, that, on the other, but I think he's just bluffing. I don't feel that Odegaard is going to be ready for the North London derby at all. But let's see how it goes. But I think it was I mean okay for most of the bigger clubs except Arsenal. I think Ake got injured as well, so that is something. But I feel City have got a lot of players who can play in place of Ake. They can play Ruben Diaz. They've got Guardiola. They've got John Stones. They've got loads of options there. But Martin Odegaard, I don't think Arsenal have another option like Martin Odegaard. So it would be very interesting to see how Arteta adapts to this problem which faces him. So Light Rays, welcome to the stream. He says, hey Wiz, hey Light Rays, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great international break and a great start to the season. He says Haaland starts via lazy FPL. Wow, have the leaks already started? That's awesome. So captaincy is sorted, guys. Captaincy is sorted, nothing to do. So for all those people who are wondering whether they should bring in Salah, captain him, not, if we have confirmed news that he's starting Haaland, then there's no option. Though no need to kind of digress and just start Haaland. And this is awesome news, and this has come at an awesome time. Because I think Haaland with 2 hat-tricks in the last 2 game weeks, even though I feel that Brentford is a slightly tougher team as compared to Nottingham Forest, but the form Haaland is in at this moment, he even scored in the international break. I think he scored 1 goal in the game in which Odegaard got injured. So I think it is like fairly black and white that we should simply, if you own Salah, that's good enough, but captaincy wise I think we should just stick with Haaland now that we have the news that Haaland is starting. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, Light Rays, for sharing it on the stream. I didn't expect to get this news so early into the stream. I was thinking that it's gonna take some time, but I'm happy that we've got the captaincies sorted, and now we can move on to the finer details and the finer questions rather than just discussing the the crude the biggest crude questions, like captaincies and stuff. Right, guys, so for anybody who's just joined, we've got the news from Lazy FPL. He says Haaland starts. That's awesome, guys. Just captain him. Right, Neil has, I think Neil had a question. Yeah, there you go. Start one, bench the other. Rogers or Mbumo? Neil, this is a very, very difficult question, to be honest with you, because Mbumo is the talisman of that team. He's on penalties for, for Brentford, playing well, but not sure how much he's going to be able to do against City. But if I owned Mbumo, I would start him rather than start Rogers. I feel if you own Mbumo, it's no point in benching him. You have to start him if you own him, right? Owning Mbumo earlier is good because he's going to get some price rises, and by the time game week 6 comes around, everybody's going to want Mbumo in their teams. So yeah, I would go with Mbumo. Saka and Jota out for Salah and Minte. With a -4, says Dinosaur. Wildcard game week 6 has no Joao Pedro. That's fine. That's fine, bro. But I don't like the idea of taking Jota out. Is there nowhere else where you can get money from? For example, if you own somebody like a Solanke, or you own somebody, somebody you can downgrade and get a Joao Pedro and take a Salah in place of Saka rather than taking out Jota, because Jota is going to start. There's no doubt about Jota starting, and he didn't fire in the last game, but otherwise I think Jota is a fine option to have anyways. So if you have some other option, Dinosaur, I would like to explore that as well, but if not, then yes, you can do this. Devendra says, hey Wiz, hey Devendra, I hope you're doing well. Watkins, Isaac, Haaland captain. Alright, that's fantastic frontline to have. Bruno, Jota, Soboslai. Rogers, that's a decentish midfield. A little unconventional. Szoboszlai, Bruno, Burn, Mazraoui, and Saliba, Onana. That team looks good to me. Have Gordon on the bench. Should I start him or Rogers? If I was you, I would start Gordon over Rogers, especially against Wolves, because Wolves have. They're struggling with the Mosquera injury, right? So they don't have too many defenders to cover for Mosquera, because Mosquera was already covering. So they don't have too many defenders. And Gordon seems to be sharp, even in the games for England. He looked pretty good, although he didn't score, but he looked pretty good. So I would start Gordon. Rogers has to be, Rogers is a 5 million player, and we should always treat him like a 5 million player. Never start him. I would never start him over a Gordon, because what has Rogers actually proved in the Premier League this season? Scoring goals in preseason is fine. We saw last season for Newcastle, Anderson scored like loads of goals and he didn't get any game time at all. So as long as Anderson proves himself, Rogers proves himself, we should not, leave players like Gordon on the bench for somebody like Rogers. That's what I feel. So yeah. Arun says Salah, Luis Diaz, Bruno Fernandes, Mbumo, Martinelli, Visa, Isaac, and Havertz. Which one to bench? Salah would start, Diaz would start, Bruno would start, Mbumo would start, Martinelli would. You have to bench one out of Martinelli or Visa, Arun, because Martinelli potentially you can bench, because because last game week he was benched and Trossard started, and I'm not sure about Martinelli, but I would play Mbumo. He's the talisman. Actually, you know what? So I would bench one out of Martinelli or Visa, Arun, right? Before I go to the talisman page from Rob TFPL, I would just like to answer one more question, then we'll go there. Devendra says, thanks, Wiz. You're welcome, my friend. Dinosaur says, could get Gordon out instead of Jota for Minte, but definitely not Joao Pedro in, because I'm a Newcastle fan and can't take Isaac out. So would Saka and Gordon to Salah and Minte be better? I came to the stream today expecting it to be like a knife through butter stream, but these questions are not easy, bro. I would possibly, not this game week. It's hard for me to tell you to take out Gordon, right? Long term, I think Newcastle's fixtures are now turning, so I would recommend taking him out. But this week, it's hard for me to advocate taking out Gordon. So can you tell me your team, Dinosaur? I will have a look, and I will try to give you my my opinion on that. Geeta says, what to do with forward? I'm not sure I get your question, Geeta. What do you mean by forward, bro? Please, if you can be more precise. Babin says Mitoma or Semenyo? Mitoma or Semenyo? I would play Mitoma in this game over Semenyo. I think Ipswich, Brighton are going to score goals. That's what they've shown in the first 3 game weeks. I would go with Mitoma. Yes, Semenyo is a fantastic option to own, but like him against Chelsea versus Mitoma versus Leicester, I would go with the Mitoma. Done ESR to Minte. Let's have fun. That's nice. FPL Sam is going without Salah, Jota, Eze, Joao Pedro. Man, you like to play contrarian, don't you? Awesome. I wish you the best. Geeta says, what to do with Muniz? Nothing, bro. Just keep him. Muniz, Muniz has been in the box. He's been taking shots, but for some reason, it's just not been clinical. It's not that he's not been getting chances, though, bro. So, I would not do. If you have a transfer to spare, you want to go with Joao Pedro, I would not be against that. But even if you have to keep, Muniz, you can keep him. There's nothing wrong with him, It's just that he's been unlucky. If Isaac hadn't scored that goal in the last game, or he would have finished up with just 1 assist in the first 3 game weeks. Right. Rogers scored 2 goals over the international break penalty. Yeah, that's fine, but that's not the same. Under 21s is not the same, as Premier League. Premier League's intensity is very different, Neil. And I mean, Rogers scored like 5 goals in the preseason as well. I give him that. I'm not saying he's a bad option at all, but not over Gordon, who proved himself in the Premier League last season, and he was a handful last season in the Premier League as well, Gordon. So not over him. I mean, over somebody like an Emil Smith-Rowe or somebody other, I would still understand because they're similar value. But if you own Gordon, then I would not. Dinosaur says, is getting Salah a must? No, I mean, it's not a must, but I think it's desirable because of the way Liverpool have been playing, and because Arsenal and City play each other in game week 5, and then you should have kind of a decent captaincy option out of that game as well. Highways, what do I do with Solanke? I mean, Jugs, you can keep Solanke if you want, because I think, he's... I mean, from the comments by Ange Postecoglou, it seems that Solanke should be fine. Even if he doesn't play the full game against Arsenal, I expect him to come on at some point, and I think he's going to be absolutely okay from game week 4. He said the Mickey van de Ven has been training, and Solanke started training at the end of this week. I mean, he trained the last 2 days as well. So maybe he comes on for a cameo and plays from game week 5. But if you want, you can keep Solanke at this moment in time, because you already have Salah and Haaland. There's no pressing need to sell Solanke, in my opinion. I can remove Martinelli and take Barnes or Semenyo. What do you suggest long term? I mean, long term, I think Semenyo can be a decent option in place of Martinelli, because I am not sure, unless Martinelli proves himself by showing some returns, I don't think long term his position is nailed, with now Sterling signing for Arsenal as well. So if I was you, I would possibly take Martinelli out. A Dinosaur, it would be better if you could write your team here, bro. It would be hard for me to open your team from the code. Just write your team here, and I will get to that. Arun's Nehal says, hey Nehal, welcome to the stream. He says, rate my team. Rhea, it's a wildcard team. Rhea, Fabianski. By the way, anybody who's on wildcard, guys, this is a team to look at. Rhea, Fabianski, Trent, Mazraoui, Pau Torres, Rico Lewis must be a City player. Greaves, I think that looks like a decentish defender. I mean, you should have a plan to move to an Arsenal defender post game week 5, but otherwise it looks alright to me. Although I don't trust the United defense too much, so Mazraoui, he could be replaced with an Anthony Robinson, but Fulham's fixture is also turning. So there's not many good 4.5 million options available anyway, but looks good. Salah, Palmer, wow. Eze, Bumo, that looks really good to me. Mitoma, Salah, Palmer, Eze, Bumo looks absolutely fantastic. We'll get Haaland. I mean, the midfield looks fantastic, but obviously without Haaland, it's hard. It's hard to look at a team without Haaland. Isaac, Havertz, and Joao Pedro. I mean, Neil, you know my thoughts about Haaland. You know my thought process. We already discussed in the Twitter chat as well. Very difficult for me to advocate leaving out Haaland, especially a striker who's just scored 2 hat-tricks, looking in absolutely red-hot form. Leaving him out is a bit tough for me. But yeah, I mean, that otherwise the team looks good to me. Based on your strategy, the one you're going with, the team looks okay to me. That's no problem. Geeta says all the best wishes. Thank you, mate. Hamad says, what about Wissa? Wissa is a good option. I mean, not this game week, but after 2 game weeks, I think game week 6, everybody will, especially on a wildcard, will go with Mbumo and Wissa, both, as a great option. Raghav says, hi Wiz. Hey Raghav, welcome to the stream. Geeta says, have defense issues. 1 to bench from FaZe, Johnson and Greaves. I don't think Johnson's gonna play. So just bench Johnson, bro. FaZe and Greaves both are going to play, so there's not going to be an issue. All right, now let me take you to that talisman page which I was going to show you previously, before we actually before we got some questions that I thought I should answer. Let me take you to this. It's a very good page, guys. I always like this information. It helps us to kind of categorize the information and to see which are the impactful players from each team. So, like this is by Rob TFPL, at Rob TFPL on Twitter. So if you can see, look at Arsenal's like goal share or the XG share, you can say, is coming more from Havertz than from Saka. So Saka is, obviously it hasn't got a penalty as of now, and that's why it is showing a little low. Saka scores 1 goal and this will push up very quickly. But according to these stats, Havertz is actually not only matching Saka, he's outperforming Saka at the moment. Right? Watkins is obviously a clear, clear talisman in the Aston Villa team, but that's also because now Bailey is now injured. There's nobody else who can actually do all the things that Watkins can do. He's on penalties as well, but he's been getting taken off at 60 minutes. He didn't go for the international break, and although Emery says he's fine, but with the fixture congestion coming in, I'm not sure how much you can trust him to play 90 minutes. That's the only thing. Evan Nilsson, you should keep an eye on these kind of players. Like Evan Nilsson is 24% for Bournemouth, and he could turn out to be the talisman. Mbumo obviously is a very clear talisman for Brentford, and one which I have my eye on for my wildcard in game week 6 hopefully. Joao Pedro, look at Joao Pedro, guys, 26%. And after I transferred Joao Pedro in, I got the news that he's going to be traveling to Brazil, and he's been a late inclusion in the Brazil squad. But fortunately enough for me, Joao Pedro only got, he didn't play the first game, he was sat on the bench, and even in the second game he just played 45 minutes, so that's something positive for me as an owner of Joao Pedro. And he's a clear talisman and on penalties as well for Brighton. Chelsea, obviously, Palmer is the talisman. He will continue to be the talisman. Nicholas Jackson has started the season really well. And he's not Nicholas Jacksoning himself. He's actually finishing his meal as of now. But I don't trust him that much as of now. But if somebody was on a wild card, he could potentially consider Nicholas Jackson is a decent option. And Crystal Palace is interesting with Mateta being up there, 27%, Eze 27%. But I feel that in a couple of game weeks he would establish himself as the talisman of Palace. DCL 6 million or 6.1 now, I'm not sure. 6 million striker, and with really good fixtures coming up. This is potentially somebody. If you want a differential, you could look at DCL on your wild card, especially with a bad start to the season. I think Everton, would try to kind of bounce back, and DCL could be a great talisman. Muniz, for anybody who is looking to jump off Muniz, you can see how much of the share, the chunk of the goal scoring opportunities this guy is getting. So there's no reason to jump off Muniz. This is a clear talisman here. Ipswich doesn't have a clear talisman. Hutchinson, Schmodek, Delap scored a fantastic goal, but no talisman. Vardy, I'm not so sure he's going to be able to continue what he's doing. I think he's gonna have to get subbed off here and there. Take he's got to manage his body as well. Salah, again, the clear talisman from the Liverpool team. Somebody asking whether Luis Diaz can cover for Salah. Yes, he's been scoring the goals. Yes, the Arne Slot system is better for the wingers. It is made so that the wingers can cut in and score the goal. So Luis Diaz is more effective, but cannot cover Salah. Haaland, you already know. No clear talisman coming out of United, but that is also because Bruno hasn't been finishing his chances, especially in the first game week. Otherwise, this would have been higher. But this is basically from Game Week, Game Week 3. Isaac, obviously, Wood, clear, and Wood is clear for Nottingham Forest. Armstrong of Southampton I'm not really interested in, but Brereton Diaz is somebody who you can look at alongside Armstrong. Is looking pretty good. Tottenham again, they've been missing Solanke, so I'm not sure how much impact that has on Son. Wolves, Cunha, Wong, no clear talisman here, no clear talisman in West Ham, but with now Fulkrug now injured, maybe Bowen can increase this number as well. So this is something you should pay an attention to, guys. This always helps you to pick the best players from each team, and this definitely has a lot of impact on your decisions. Nehal says Johnson. Okay, let me go back now. Actually, I would also like to show you the predictions from Emma at Jump the Wave, but let's do a couple of questions before I come to the predictions. Relo says start Porro or Robinson. I would start Porro or Robinson. I'd start Porro. I would start Porro in that game. Neil says starting Dunk, Robertson, whether Rico Lewis or Konsa for a third spot. I would start Rico Lewis. No Konsa. I mean, Konsa is fine. I mean, Emery said he was gonna be fine. But I mean, you should take a chance with Rico Lewis. I mean, he's been so attacking. He's gonna score 1 or 2 goals in the time when he's playing. Raghav says wildcard team: Verbruggen, Robertson, Lewis, Dean, Diaz. I don't like that defense, Raghav. Lewis again, Dean. They've signed this Maatsen guy from Chelsea. I'm not sure how nailed on Dean is. Lewis again is kind of plastering the cracks. I'm not sure how is a long-term option as well. So I don't like that. Like the defense. Diaz is fine. Salah, Eze, Palmer, Rogers perfectly fine. Pedro, Haaland perfectly fine. The forward line looks good to me. The defense not so much, bro. I think you should need to reconsider. And if you can get an extra $1 million from somewhere, I would prefer Trent over Robertson 100%. What do you think about Havertz as an asset since Odegaard is missing? Nehal, I think he's going to be playing in the midfield. So I think maybe he's going to start Trossard as a false 9, start Martinelli or Sterling on the left, start Saka on the right. It depends. I mean, I've heard news that Gabriel Jesus is fine, but I don't think he's going to throw him in such a big game. So I would personally I think Havertz is going to have a huge impact on the game, but less impact in terms of goals because he's going to be playing a little bit back, further back. Afternoon, Imran. I hope you're doing well, bro. I hope you had a good international break. Sand and Peace says, who is a Chelsea mid worth having for at least the next 3 game weeks? Madueke or Nicholas? Nicholas Jackson is a forward. He's not a mid. Worth having for... Oh, Chelsea mid, you are saying, right? So Nicholas Jackson is a forward. Is not a mid. Madueke is good. I mean, I don't see him losing his place unless he doesn't perform at all. Even in the last game, he didn't score, but he was good. Also, is Diaz a better option than Jota? I think they're both good options, but in the Arne Slot system, I feel that he's going to get more chances as compared to Jota. Diaz he cuts inside and he shoots, so I think he's going to get more options. Domji says on a wild card, what are your thoughts on Saka, Salah and Haaland in the same team? I would go with Saka, Palmer and Palmer, Salah and Haaland rather than Saka, Salah and Haaland. Anil says slot system is effectively 4-2-2 in possession, giving wingers the advantage, and 4-2-1-3 out of possession with great pass. I agree. I totally agree with that. That's why I say that the wingers are going to get lots of chances. So I mean, Luis Diaz is going to get better returns in FPL as compared to what he did under Klopp, because the Klopp system was more like heavy metal stuff, just winning the ball high up the pitch. And if like your forward is leading the press, most of the times, chances would fall to him or to Salah because he would lead the press. In this case, I feel the wingers are going to be more effective. Amit says he was late for the stream. Hey Amit, you're not late, you still have half an hour, bro. We'll get to your question, no problems. Nail says if you had to pick one, Palmer or Jackson for Chelsea. If I go Jackson, I can keep Haaland. I mean, Nail, there's no comparison between Palmer and Jackson. Obviously Palmer is the better option, but if it enables you to get Haaland, who would you get with which midfielder would you get alongside Haaland then? If it is that option. So if you get Haaland, which midfielder would you get in place of Palmer? Then I'll be able to better place to answer this question. Arun says White, Akanji, Konate, Share. Okay, so Ben White, Akanji, Konate, Share, Van Hecke. I would start Van Hecke. I would start Konate, and I would start Akanji, Konate and Van Hecke. Arsenal with Ben White, I'm not so sure. I want to say that you should start him, but it's a pretty tough game, to be honest with you. And I feel Spurs are going to score in this game. I don't think Arsenal are going to be able to keep a clean sheet here. But it's a difficult question. Alright, so Dinosaur has shared his team. And it's the first time I'm seeing you on our stream, if I'm not wrong, Dinosaur. So welcome, and I hope you enjoy your stay here. It says Henderson, Guardiola, Dunk, Konsa, Rogers. Alright, the keeper is fine. Guardiola, Dunk is fine. Konsa is good. Rogers, Jota, Gordon, Saka, Fernandes, Haaland, Isaac. I'm the one looking to get a Salah with the -4. I mean, there is a world in which you could actually take out Bruno Fernandes. You don't have Trent, do you? I mean, you could even take out Bruno Fernandes, and you don't have Eze either, right? So you could downgrade from Fernandes to an Eze and upgrade from Saka to a Salah, Dinosaur. That looks fine to me. Fernandes to Eze and Saka to Salah, or Fernandes to a Luis Diaz if you're feeling more adventurous. But I think Fernandes to Eze could work. Let me know if you have other options as well, bro. Will Haaland start? Yep, we have got confirmation on Twitter from Lazy FPL that Haaland will start. For everybody who joined the stream late, Haaland is going to start. Let me actually unpin my message, and let me pin a new message so that everybody can see. Haaland starts @lazy FPL. Right, there you go. So I'm pinning this message so everybody who joins the stream should know that Haaland is starting. Anyways, CAV says, hey CAV, I hope you're doing well. I have a Rashford problem. Could move to Salah and 4.5 from Saka and Rashford. CAV, I think you can. I think you should. The issue is Rashford has a decent game, but the United team as a whole has not been performing, and the United fans have been getting on the back of Rashford a bit. I mean, when I think it was Garnacho who was taken off. I mean, the fans of United were actually really angry that he kept on Rashford and he took off Garnacho. So I would remove Rashford and Saka for Salah and 4.5. I think that works. That'll give you a captaincy option as well in game week 5. So I think that's a desirable move. So yeah. Amit says, how about a free hit in game week 5 since I have Saka, Gabriel, Haaland, Guardiola, don't have Salah as a captain and planning to wildcard after. I don't think free hit is an option there, Amit. I don't think you should waste your free hit in that case. Actually, these kind of things require a bit of forward planning rather than fixing the problems with free hit later on. But I would recommend you to just play Haaland, bench Gabriel, move from Saka to Salah, and I think you should be fine. Guardiola is an attacking player; he can get an attacking return as well. Haaland is no problems, Even if you want, you can just move from Saka to Salah, and that'll give you a captaincy option. Even if you have to take, if you roll your transfer this week, it'll give you 2 free transfers next week, and you'll have to just move one player, get some cash, and move from Saka to Salah and captain him. There's no problems there. I don't think you need to free hit, bro. George Light says, "Hey Wiz, hey George, I hope you're doing well." He says, "Power dunk." Dunk is only good for the next 2 weeks, George. Actually, let me just show you this real quick. So if you see here, they've got only two good weeks, and then they've got Chelsea, Spurs, Newcastle, Wolves, Liverpool. It's a horrible run of fixtures. So long term, I think. Longer term, I'd say. Although they've got this Champions League as well. So longer term, I think Pau is the better option. Short term, if you want going to wildcard in game week 6, then I would go with Dunk. Long term, I'd go with Pau. All right, guys, I was expecting a very peaceful stream today. So many questions. I'm currently on a wildcard. Have 0.7 million to spend. Currently thinking of going for Saka to Palmer or Porro to Robertson. Saka to Palmer. I think for the next 2 game weeks, going from Saka to Palmer should be the better option than going from Porro to Robertson. Although Liverpool will keep clean sheets, but the thing is, this season Liverpool have already kept 3 clean sheets. They've been outperforming a little bit. They've been a bit lucky as well in that case. But I would upgrade from Saka to Palmer if I had the option. I do not recommend investing too much heavily in defense this season, especially with the BPS changes coming in. The defenders are not even getting that many bonus points now, which were like bread and butter. If you keep a clean sheet, you would automatically be eligible for getting bonus points because of the way the game was skewed in terms of BPS. And now they've changed the rules, and they're getting BPS for shots on target and stuff. Now, spending too much on defenders, unlike it is a defender like Trent Alexander-Arnold, is a bit much. I recommend going with the economy defenders, I guess, and just having one for that. Can't get Salah. Shall I get Diaz? Already have Jota. You can get Diaz independently as a good option. Yes, Diaz is a good option. Fantastic. But if you think Diaz is going to cover Salah in game week 5 as a captaincy option, then I would have to say no. But independently at 7.5 million, I think Diaz is a good option. But don't forget, guys, all this is for all of you. Diaz played for Colombia and he played his last game on Tuesday evening, and he had to travel all the way from there. So you have to kind of compartmentalize this information as well. He might be taken off early as well, because lots of games are coming thick and fast, and you have to protect your players as well. So be careful. Anil says, if I keep Haaland, then I get Winks on the bench. So effectively it is Haaland plus Winks or Havertz. Haaland plus Winks plus Havertz versus Isaac plus Jackson plus Palmer. On this, actually looking at this, Isaac, Jackson, Palmer looks better to me, but it's the Haaland factor, because everybody's going to be captaining him, and you don't have Haaland even in your team. Nihil, that's the thing which always kind of irks me when people go against the most owned options in the game, but I think Isaac Jackson plus Palmer is a good option as well. I mean, can be a good option as well. Actually, the problem is Winks is not going to give you any points. Havertz has two really tough games against Tottenham and City. So it's essentially just Haaland versus the other three rather than, 3 versus 3. That's the decision that you need to make. Is Lazy FPL a trusted source? He's absolutely trusted, bro. Lazy FPL is 100% trusted. Whenever he tweets out something, it's always trusted. It's Mr. Mays says hello. Hey, Mr. Mays, I hope you're doing well. Thinking of captaining Salah, Haaland might not perform well due to his loss. What do you think? I think Haaland is the type of player who's going to be more wanting to prove himself rather than he's the kind of player who in times of difficulty is the want to score a goal, kind of push himself rather than go back into his shell. So I'm fine with my captaincy. I mean, you can, if you want to captain Salah, by all means, is not a bad option at all against Nottingham Forest. But if you ask me, after 2 hat-tricks, Haaland is the best captaincy option, followed by Salah. So it's not that Salah is bad, it's just he's number 2 behind Haaland. It's Mr. May says Haaland and Armstrong to Konsa and Pedro worth a -4. If I do only one, I've got to start one of Murphy, Harvard Bellis, Johnson or Armstrong. I think it's worth it's Mr. Mays. I think it's worth the -4 because Konsa's got a decent fixture as well. Expect a clean sheet hopefully there. Pedro's got 2 good fixtures as well. Hopefully it's touch and go, but I think you can do it. I don't think there's a downside. Even if you don't make points, I think it'll at least bring you to break even, and alongside giving you a better team structure. Hall is because he's fallen in value. Not sure he plays. That's the thing. Matt Target is coming back as well, so it's a lot of things working against Hall at this moment. Armstrong is good, but needs to perform, needs to prove himself as of now. Joao Pedro is like levels better than Armstrong. CAV says I might leave it, give Saka the derby and Rashford the Southampton game, and then see next week with the extra free transfer. CAV, that's absolutely fine. My issue with Saka this game week is not Saka himself, but the structure of the team around him. Without Odegaard and Declan Rice, I just feel that Arsenal don't have the firepower anymore to kind of hurt Spurs the way they could with these 2 players. So I think they're gonna play a more counter-attacking approach with Martinelli and Saka, something which they did last season as well. If you remember the goal that Saka scored, it was like Havertz played him the long ball from inside his own half, and Saka just ran and scored the goal. So it depends on how Arsenal set up, which Arteta did not give any hints about in the press conference. So I'm very kind of in the darkness about how Arsenal will play, who is going to play as a striker, who's going to play on the left wing. Is Sterling going to start? Is Trossard going to start? Is Martinelli? So lots of things going on in my mind. Hard for me to recommend. Thoughts on Rico Lewis? I think short term Rico Lewis will start. Long term, I don't think he's an option. Guys, what happened today? What happened to the cool stream that we were supposed to have? Viz, should I take out Solanke? Solanke is going to be fine from game week 5 onwards. He might even get some time off the bench in this game against Arsenal. So if you've stuck with him till now and you don't need the money or the funds, I think you can stick with Solanke. I don't think it's a bad option at all. I have Watkins, Solanke and Haaland. I mean, that's a great option to have, bro. But if you don't need the money, you can keep Solanke. I think he's going to come good for Spurs anyway. It's just that this game week he might not start. Set on the captain. Yes, Fadzali, I'm set on the captain, bro. Sanjay says, hey Wiz, I have 3 free transfers. Do I do Gordon to Eze? Last game week you said to roll the transfer roll. I'm in top 70k. May wildcard. Wow, top 70k is awesome, bro. And well done. Gordon to Eze, not this week because even Gordon plays against Wolves, which is not a tough fixture at all. So you can keep Gordon this week and maybe think about Eze later or even on your wildcard. This week I don't think you need to do it. I mean, if you really want to, that's totally up to you, bro. You're doing something right. That's why you're in this top 70k. But in my opinion, Gordon has a decentish fixture as well against Wolves, so can match him. Neil Peterson has locked his team with Joe Pedro, Watkins, Isaac. No Haaland, man. It scares me to look at teams without Haaland. Joe Pedro, Watkins, Isaac, Salah, Jota, Palmer, Mbeumo. It's kind of the team which Nehal was reading out. Rico Lewis, Dunk, Robertson, Rea rolling the transfer. Cheers, mate. I wish you all the best. I mean, the team looks fantastic, obviously with the glaring miss of Haaland, but it looks good on paper anyways. Fadli says Munoz, Porro, Trent, Robinson. Play 3. I would play Munoz, I would play Trent, and I would play Porro. Yeah. The difficult one between Porro and Robinson, 100% I would play Munoz and Trent. PS, if I did that, our only difference in starting 11 would be in defense. Pedro versus... Okay. It's not about matching with my team, bro. You're doing much better than me, so I should be looking to match your team, right? So I think Gordon is fine. I don't think I mean, Eze obviously has a great potential against Leicester, but so does Gordon against Wolves. But the problem with me really about Gordon is I don't want him to play on the right side. I want Gordon to play on the left side, but because they want to start Harvey Barnes, they're having to push Gordon to the wrong side, where he doesn't really want to play, but is having to kind of adjust. That is the only issue in my mind about Gordon. Bekalu says, hey Wiz, Arnold, Gabriel, Robinson, Pedro Porro, shall I change any of them with Konsa from the bench? You could replace Pedro Porro or Robinson with Konsa. Yes. I mean, Robinson plays against... you can even... Robinson plays against West Ham United, who I feel will score a goal in this game. So no clean sheets there. Pedro Porro against Arsenal as well. I think out of these two, you can replace Konsa with any of them. Saka is always a threat on penalties too. Obviously nowhere near Salah's threat this week, but my structure would be worse. I agree with you, man. I didn't get Salah only because of this game week, and if it was only against Tottenham, I would not sell Saka. My issue was to kind of, be covered for game week 5 while having Salah this game week as well. That's why I made my transfers earlier. But I agree with your reasoning. Personally, I like the option of Salah better than Saka. That's why I actually made the transfers. Play ESR or Solanke? I would play ESR, mate, because I'm not sure if Solanke is going to start. If you are, from the press conference, I could not make out what he was trying to say. He said, we've got 2 days remaining. Hopefully he's going to be okay. These are the type of comments which he actually made. So it's tough for me to say categorically whether Solanke is going to start. So why take a chance and play ESR? Perfectly good option against West Ham United as well. And, Spurs have a tough game against Arsenal, even though Arsenal are, a bit crippled by injuries. Shall I roll my transfer? I have Rodgers, Diaz, Saka, Palmer in the mid, and Haaland, Pedro, Welbeck in the front. Yep, you can roll your transfer. Your team looks good to me, bro. Palmer and Saka, I think you can roll, yes. Just realize I can do Wood to Pedro feels like the best option. Yeah, that is also possible. The good fixtures for Nottingham Forest are, now over, so you can do that as well. Yeah, but remember, if you're bringing in Joao Pedro, it is only for 2 game weeks, and beyond that their fixtures are horrible. Let me show you. Look, Chelsea, Spurs, Newcastle, Wolves, Liverpool, Manchester City, horrible fixtures after that. So just for 2 weeks, remember. Yes says, can I bring in Joao Pedro and Palmer for a -4 for Saka and Solanke? Why not bring in Joao Pedro and Salah rather than Palmer, bro? If you already own Salah, then you can do it, yes. Saka plus Gordon to Salah plus Minte, or Saka plus Isaac to Salah plus Joao Pedro. I would not sell Isaac. I would sell Gordon over Isaac. Isaac is on penalties. It's a difficult one because I would not recommend selling either of the two, but if I had to select one, I would possibly go with the selling Gordon over Isaac. Isaac is the talisman. I just showed you, bro. Abirup says, hey Wiz, hey Abirup, welcome to the stream. Who to start out of Hall, Faiz and Harvard Bellis? I would start Faiz plays against Crystal Palace. His threat on set pieces. You can select one out of Wout, Faiz and Bell. I don't think Hall starts. Just hang on, let me check my notes to see whether I feel that this guy is going to start or not. I don't think he starts though, Hall. But let's see. Yeah, I feel Kelly is going to start. I don't think Hall is going to start. You know, I would start Wout Faiz because he is threat on corners and stuff. That's all. You could play Harvard Bellis against Manchester United, but I don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet. Abirup says also who to replace Muniz with. You can keep Muniz if you want to. If you want to replace him, you can go with Joao Pedro as well. And you can, I mean, long term, Vissa is a good option. Short term, Joao Pedro is a better option. Vissa or Semenyo? This week, neither, bro. I mean, if you're thinking about buying them, then none. If you're asking me which one to start, I would start Semenyo rather than Vissa. Also, is Haaland safe to captain? Haaland safe to captain if you're asking me in terms of whether he starts or not. We've got confirmation that Haaland is starting. From Lazy FPL, we have the confirmation that he is starting. If you're asking me if Salah's got the better option or Haaland, Salah's got the better fixture. Haaland is in better. Haaland is in amazing form as well. You know, so I would captain Haaland over Salah. That's the only thing. If you want, you can go with Salah as well. I don't mind, but I'm totally for captaining Haaland, bro. Whew. Guys, I have to have a drink of water. You guys, I never expected that many questions today. Imagine if I had decisions to make about my own team today. It would have been trumpets galore. Zaid says Saka, Isaac, Watkins and Gibbs White. Oh man, why? Why are you taking out Watkins and Isaac, bro? Haaland, oh, you don't have Haaland. Joao Pedro, Rogers, and I don't like that, Zaid. -8 is a bit much, bro. Why don't you if you want Haaland, just sell Saka and Isaac. Just sell Saka and Isaac and get Haaland. Don't take a -8, bro. It's not worth it. I mean, Watkins is going to play. Or, you know, if you want, you can sell Watkins or Isaac, I'd say, you know, and just sell Saka and get Haaland if you really want him. Why take a -8, bro? Why do complete overhaul when it is not required? At this moment of the season, I don't think a -8 is absolutely warranted at all. You know, and I don't think it's required also. You've got Watkins who's got a prime fixture against Everton at home. Why you want to sell him? You've got an Isaac who plays Wolves against, you know, away against Wolves. Why do you want to sell him? Yes, you want to get Haaland, then just sell 2 of them and get Haaland. Don't sell all 4. Yash says -0.1 less for Salah. Oh man, that 0.1 hurts a lot. I know absolutely all about that dreaded 0.1 million, bro. By the way, guys, all of you who are here, if you're enjoying what we do on the stream, please do give a like. I really appreciate it. Abirup says, thanks a lot. You're welcome, bro. Pedro, expected minutes worse than Welbeck due to the... Yes, that is true. Pedro, definitely, I feel that, you know, might get taken off early because he played 45 minutes in the international break and Welbeck got a full rest. But I feel that the talisman quotient of Joao Pedro is much higher than Welbeck. So even if he gets 70 minutes in this game week, I'm pretty happy with that, you know. Plus the next full game week in the next one. Start Boomer versus City or Pau versus Everton. I would start Boomer versus City, Nehal. A player on penalties, on the counter attack, with the ability to and a very high ceiling. You know, 1 goal conceded by Aston Villa and Pau's wiped out totally. No points for him. So why not take a chance with Bumo? The ceiling of Pau Torres is what, 6 points? You know, 7, I guess, if he gets a bonus, but that's about it. Bumo's ceiling is like 12 points, 10 points if he scores a goal. Yeah, I'll take a chance with Bumo. If you own him, you start him. Can I do my only transfer for Pedro and for Solanke? I mean, you can do that. Yeah, that is absolutely fine as well. I mean, even if you don't want to do it, you can just keep Solanke as well. I mean, you don't need to make that transfer really, because Solanke is going to be fit again and be playing as well. Start Gabriel or Porro. I'd start I'd start Porro for the attacking threat. Gabriel has a ceiling of 6 in this. I mean, unless he wants to score a bullet header. Which I don't think. I mean, although Spurs are susceptible to set pieces, but I still would just select Porro because of the attacking threat and because him being at home and Arsenal being a bit depleted. Yeah, maybe Porro. Maybe Arsenal will play a kind of a deep block and Porro will get the chance to bomb forward. It's not a very big decision because I don't expect their points to be too much different. But I will go with this one. Porro. Whew, the questions have dried up and I absolutely like that. So guys, let me just go. We didn't even look at the predictions. We didn't get a chance to look at the Jump the Wave predictions today. Man, it was insane. Just hang on, let me see. What is FPL Main Road posting? I think I saw his post. Maybe something or the other. Just a second, guys. There you go. No, it is posted about Osimhen or something. No. Fake accounts just trying to confuse. FPL Tony is confirmed that Haaland is starting, guys. FPL Tony confirms that Haaland starts, right? So Haaland is confirmed. Well, I guess I will roll my transfer. Yes, you can roll your transfer. Yes, bro. I don't think. I mean, don't force a transfer just because you can't get who you want to get. So you just make a transfer, just for the sake of making a transfer. Roll your transfers, count your chips. Next week, come back and you'll have a better option. Hopefully, sell Saka and someone else for a bit to get Salah, or sell Saka for Luis Diaz or Palmer. I would sell Saka and someone else for a hit to get Salah. That's what I did. I'm not saying that's what you should do, bro, but that's what I did for my own team. I sold Saka for a hit to get Saka and Solanke for a hit to get Salah. So I think Salah is desirable. That's all I want to say. Just a second, guys. I'm refreshing my team for all of you to see. My captain is Haaland. My vice captain is Mo Salah. I don't have a subs bench. It is absolutely redundant. Sangare is not going to start. So let me put Harvard Bellis first on the bench. Sangare can stay on the second. Nothing else to do here. Luis Diaz returned well. Yeah, he did return well though. And as an independent asset, I feel Luis Diaz is a fantastic option. But if you're asking me if he can match Salah's return, I don't think so. Independently, he's a fantastic option, Luis Diaz. You can definitely go for Luis Diaz. But if you ask me, like in Game Week 5, you want to captain him and can he match Salah? I'd say I'd find it difficult to captain Luis Diaz, but I'll find it easier to captain Salah. That's all. Garnacho good for this week? Garnacho's fine. I don't understand why Ten Hag keeps taking him off rather than taking Rashford off. So I'm a little bit low on the United team as of now. I don't know which assets to get except maybe Mazraoui from United. So I'm a little bit, I would not go there personally. It's better to go with somebody like an Eze, somebody like a Joao Pedro, even Mitoma, Minte. These are the players you should go for if you're taking a punt rather than Garnacho, in my opinion. Although Southampton have been bad, but so have been United. They've not been too good. So if I had to take a punt, I would go with somebody like a Mitoma, Minte, Eze, these are the type of players I would go for. Luis Diaz is also a punt. You can take a deep punt on Luis Diaz, but then you have to decide who you're going to captain in game week 5, because we have to plan for the future. Guys, we've got 3 minutes left. We don't have Smelly Wabbit here in the stream today to give you a call out. So I'm telling you, less than 3 minutes left. Lock your teams. I will not answer any more questions now, because I know I've seen after the deadline is over, then people say, oh, we missed the deadline by 5 seconds, by 10 seconds. We weren't able to lock our teams. Nothing doing, guys. No more answering questions. Please go and lock your teams. We're done here. Please lock your teams. Set your benches. If you want to make your transfers, remember sometimes the player ends up on the bench and you don't have time to bring him in. So the right time to make your transfer is like at least 3 minutes before the deadline, because these servers are running on hamsters. You never know when they're gonna crash. So it's always better to set your teams beforehand. You know, I've told you everything I had to tell. Went Haaland less and finding the biggest couches now. You know, you Neil, I mean that's courageous, bro. I mean, and you require courage to go against the grain. It's fine. I mean, if it works out for you, absolutely fine. I always from the very first day when you wildcarded, I told you I would not do it personally. But that's the beauty of FPL, because if we all play the same way, then everybody of us will have the same ranks, right? So that's the beauty of FPL. You adapt. You play Saliba this week and phase next week, or bring in Power Dunk. Play Saliba, bro. Just play Saliba. I don't think that now is the time to make this decision. I would play Saliba if I had him. You know, just in the case Arsenal keep a clean sheet, it's fine. Otherwise, I mean, even Dunk has just one good fixture left, and after that he's got tough fixtures. And Saliba, after 2 game weeks, will have good fixtures. So now is not the time to transfer him out. I would keep Saliba. Just play him. Next week we'll come we'll revisit this decision. You know, Saka to Palmer. If you want to, you can do it for a free, but not for a hit. Oh, guys, last 50 seconds remaining. I will not answer any more questions. Please lock your teams, otherwise you're going to miss the deadlines. Hey, I just woke up. What is the Haaland is starting, Todd. Captain him. Haaland is starting, confirmed by FPL Tony, and 30 seconds remaining, Todd. Just captain Haaland, bro. He's starting. If you want to captain him, I mean, you know, he's starting. Playing Solanke, bench TSR, Mo captain. All the best, Jugs. That's the only news we have, Todd. That's the only news we have. Haaland is starting. Nothing, no news came out. Good luck, bro. 20 seconds remaining. Lock your team. I should start giving a countdown, bro. It's like, oh, well, guys, I honestly, you know, because I've already made my transfers 2 weeks back, I was absolutely relaxed before coming to this stream. And I did not expect this stream to be so intense. I mean, we've got like, at one time we got 35 people watching the stream. You know, questions, like really difficult questions as well, whether to bring in Eze for Gordon and such, like pretty difficult stream today. And I expected just easy peasy kind of just, you know, chillax kind of stream, but nope. Nothing in FPL is ever easy, is it, guys? So yeah, let me see if we got any more news or anything, and then we can bring an end to today's deadline streams. Haaland is starting. The only news is Haaland is starting, really, and that's it. FPL Tony confirmed it. A lazy FPL confirmed it. That's it. That's the only news that came out, I guess. Thanks, Wiz. Nice stream. See you soon, says Amit. Cheers, mate. See you soon. I hope you have a great game week. I guess there's no more news, guys. I think that's about it. Yeah. The only news that came out was that Haaland was starting. Todd, we would like to have you on the stream a little bit earlier, but I know your time frames are such that you're kind of struggling to make, you know, from the US, it's difficult for you guys to make the deadline stream. So thank you so much for still making the time, and I hope you managed to fix your team in time before the deadline. You know, it was just, I think it was 1 minute remaining when you asked the question. That's pretty quick time to make the decisions. Amit says same to you. Best of luck. Thanks. So guys, I would like to thank you all for making today's deadline stream, and I just like to tell you that we've got 4 more game weeks of FPL. We've got 2 weeks of Champions League and 1 week of and kind of 2 weeks of Carabao Cup, especially for those teams which are playing in the Champions League. They'll play the next week, so we've got a jam-packed session of games. But in terms of FPL, we've got 4 more game weeks before we enter another deadline, another international break. So we're gonna have another international break after game week 7. And until then, we've got to have an action-packed month of football. So I hope you're excited and as excited as I am. And I will catch you on the next edition of Deadline Stream. If any of you is a serious FPL player, you come regularly to our streams, want to be a part of our Twitter group, send me a message on Twitter, and I will add you to that group. If you want to become a member and support our streams, you can click the join button and become a member of the channel as well. So with that, we come to an end of today's edition of the Deadline Stream. I hope you had a good one, and I hope you have a great game week. May the arrows be green. FPL Wizard signing out, and I will see you for the next week's Deadline Stream. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.